For today's video on the Bill of Rights, I've chosen to specifically focus on the Second Amendment due to current debate over gun control. The Second Amendment reads, "A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." The Bill of Rights was implemented to appease anti-federalists concerned with the Constitution and protecting the personal freedoms of its citizens. This amendment was specifically important to the Revolutionary period because it showed their distrust of authority and the executive branch. This right was also important because Americans used this right almost as a threat to keep the government from taking their liberties. Thomas Jefferson specifically wrote about this when writing to James Madison. He stated that what country can preserve its liberties if their rulers are not warned from time to time that their people preserve the spirit of resistance? Let them take arms. The Second Amendment has come into question, though, after a specific gun-related crime. Critics state that the amendment does not apply to types of guns today, specifically because technology has advanced. They also state that this amendment is only related to militia purposes. However, there are two Supreme Court cases that state otherwise. In the District of Columbia versus Heller in 2008, the Supreme Court held that the Second Amendment guarantees an individual's right to possess a firearm unconnected with service in a militia. They also classified handguns as arms within this amendment. Critics of this case state that this was not a U.S. state, but however an enclave of the United States, and brought into question whether this regarded state rights. In McDonald versus Chicago in 2010, the Supreme Court held that the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms for the self-defense in one's home is fully applicable to the states through the 14th Amendment. This was in specific regard to those critics who stated that the District of Columbia versus Heller of 2008 did not regard state rights. Gun control will always be a debate within the United States. However, the Second Amendment gives people the right to bear arms. As concluded by the Supreme Court, this right to bear arms does not need to be connected with militia purposes.